good soul, and I can feel good about myself because I have something that's strong, and I can always fall back on it, and then I can work on myself. But marriage first, myself, my wife, my kids, you know, just try to take on that responsibility and be a good father. Teach them the right things. Teach my daughter the right things. Don't let her get away with nonsense. Make sure that she listens. She's respectful, just like my older kids. They're really good kids, and I think that's how you have to raise them. You have to be tough on them. You can't be their buddy. You got to be their parent. And don't. And Jordan Peterson's got these rules, the 12 rules for life. He's doing this tour right now. He talks about all these rules. I didn't read the book, but I've heard him talk so much that I think I know everything in the book, it seems. Don't let your kids do anything that makes you dislike them is one of his rules, and I think I've always done that. I don't let my kids get away with things that bother me, because then, you don't have a good kid. If the kid's always talking back and this little asshole, it's just, like, you don't want a kid like that. You want a kid that respects you, but have a kid that respects you, you gotta be someone to be respected, so I try to keep my shit straight. Try to do good at my work, make money, support my family, take care of my stuff, take care of my wife, take care of my kids, coach them, coach all their soccer teams, all that kind of stuff, and I'm just there. So talked about and then talked about finding Jordan Peterson, finding Naval, Ravikant, and his podcast about how do you get your freedom. You don't get your freedom by renting your time, and so now I can talk about that part of my life. And just recently I decided that I'm going to get my personal freedom no matter what. I'm going to just work on it every day until I get it. And this is going to be the journey, so I'll try to make a lot of videos that talk about the principles that I learn and how I apply them, and I can give you a few examples. I definitely started trying to do work for myself a long time ago, maybe 15, 20 years ago, with a couple guys at work. And I was going to do a consulting company, with all the stuff I could do. I was like, man, why not? Why not have people hire me, and then I can be my own boss? The guys, I guess I thought I needed more people to help, to make it something that would be real. And so I got 2 people that said they would help, but I didn't get anything out of them. Like, I did everything and kept waiting for them. They're like, yeah, we'll get it done, and then nothing happens. So I kind of gave up on that idea. Then I thought about it again maybe a few months ago, thinking, should I be a consultant? Oh, excuse me, sorry. And and it's just, after listening to Naval, Ravikant, he's just, one of the things is you can't get your freedom if you're renting your time out. So if you wanna do your own thing, you can't rent your time out, because you can only make money when you're there renting your time out, making the devices or making whatever the job is, if you're a consultant, whatever. And I just don't think that's the way to do it. I could do the job, it'd be better than working for someone else, but I'm not gonna get my freedom. I'm gonna be a slave to that job. And so I won't be able to work when I want and where I want, that sort of thing. I'd kind of be at the mercy of my customers. I'd rather build something that I want to build anyway, which is the kind of things he talks about, is first follow your passion. Just keep learning, follow your passions, and keep trying. Just keep moving forward and doing that sort of thing. So that's what I'm doing. And that's part of this. This is another thing where if I can describe day to day what's going on, then maybe in a few years, if I've actually done anything useful and made it and am in charge of my own life, and meaning I work on what I want to work on, and I do things for the world that I think are important for the world without somebody else dictating what I have to do on a daily basis or where I have to be and that sort of thing. It's not about that. I don't mind having a boss, but I don't think they have the vision. I'd rather work with someone that has my vision, and the only way to do that is work for me. And so I've had a couple ideas so far, and now I can start talking about what I'm going to talk about, mainly in the blog. I'm going to go through my history, all that sort of stuff. And now I can talk about the things that brought me to this point. And one of the things is listening to Jordan Peterson is like, I want to move toward the good, move toward more responsibility, move toward more meaning in life. I think it's super important, and that's what I've been trying to do, because the way he puts it is that you can be sure there's evil in this world. I mean, just look at everything that happens, all these crazy evil people blowing up buildings. Look at World War II, look at the concentration camps, look at Soviet Russia, look at all, the gulags, archipelago, people, just millions and millions and millions of people just getting murdered for no reason. I mean, that's hell, concentration camps are hell. So I definitely believe that's the way he puts it. You definitely believe in hell. So there has to be the opposite, and I think going toward the good, like doing things that are good and truthful and that won't make the world a worse place, I think is where I'm going to go. Because I know as long as I'm trying my best to do what's right and what's good and what's helpful for me and other people, then I can sleep better at night. And so that's what I'm doing, and that, along with moving forward with my personal freedom, is what this blog's all about. So to go forth, I thought about the consulting job again a few months ago. I ruled it out. Me and my wife, we talk about ideas. We go walking every morning. Well, pretty much every morning. She's away right now on business, but in the mornings we talk about this business idea she had of importing stuff to Brazil, because they just can't get good car parts and that sort of thing. So I looked into that for to see if it would work. She wasn't really that involved, like that enthusiastic about actually doing stuff, but she had the idea, and I just wanted to follow through. So I thought about it. I looked up some parts, looked up some ways to get the parts, but it just doesn't make any kind of financial sense, because I can get the parts cheaper in Brazil right now than I can with the exchange rate, buy the parts here in the United States, and then if I bought them from the United States, I thought to ship them down there. So to figure out that business, I'd have to pretty much be in Brazil, and it be a logistics business to make sure I could clean up how people get parts. But that's not something I want to do. I don't want to deal with logistics and people in Brazil, not because I got anything against people in Brazil. It's just not one of my passions. I don't want to do that. So then I thought about some other ideas. What were some other ideas I thought about? This latest idea, it's related to jiu-jitsu and some training to go along with jiu-jitsu, and I think I have a really good idea on what people would want to watch for basically a training channel. And I go to a gym with a super legit Professor Gordo. He's like the best. I think people would say that this is the best gym in Florida for jiu-jitsu, is where I go. I just luckily picked it because it's right next to my house. So thankfully, I'm right next to the best place. And I thought of an idea with that, with a way to show videos that would give a lot more information to people trying to learn it. And I know people love watching jiu-jitsu videos and technique and that sort of thing. So I think it can make money. I think I can move forward. I think people will find it useful, and so that's what I'm still pursuing right now. I need to I'm contacting these clothing manufacturers, because I can't really tell you the idea yet, but it involves this special type of clothing. I'm trying to figure that out, and then I'm also trying to figure out the video aspects and how to create my idea. So more to come on that. If it doesn't happen and I give up, I'll tell you exactly what the idea was. But if it happens and when I actually start doing it, then I'll talk about the idea more. But I haven't done it yet, so I don't want to talk about it too much. So, and that's about it. So I'm going to be uploading these videos whenever I can. Hopefully I'll do them at least 2-3 times a week. Just, my day-to-day stuff, what I'm doing, what I'm thinking of. Right now I'm doing a lot of research on videos. That's one of the things Naval talks about, is just follow your passions. Just always be learning, always be working on moving forward. So just reading a lot, watching a lot of videos on how to do video editing, how to do overlays. I need to be able to overlay one image on the next, and I have to figure out how to do that. So that's the part of always learning, moving forward, and so that's what I'm doing. And I guess I'll sign out now. It's been like 36 minutes so far, so that should be enough for the first video. Hopefully you find it useful. I'm going to sign out now. So again, Jet Lampert, my personal journey to freedom. hopefully it works out, and hopefully someone finds this useful eventually after I've made it. Bye.